Hello beautiful people, it's your girl J Cordani and I am back for another video. In this video I will be talking about how people are for reasons and seasons. A lot of us, if you guys watching, you're probably an empath like me and you're very in touch with people's emotions, you're in touch with your own. You want to kind of cling on to people. And even if you don't want to cling on to them, you have such a founding love for that person that it's oftentimes hard for you to accept when a person does you wrong, or when that simply their time in your life is gone. It's gone away, whether that's a friend or a relationship or a person of your family that's related to you of blood. You could possibly be in a season of yourself, or you could have gotten out of a season with somebody currently. And I want to let you know that it is okay to keep going and keep walking into different seasons and meeting different people. Oftentimes we like to meet people and assume that they are going to be in our lives forever. And a lot of times that is not the case. A lot of us don't like to accept that fact of things do have to end, and there's a reason for that. A lot of times that person is brought into your life to bring you to another door. A lot of times those emotions have to be aroused in you. It has to be brought back up so you can be able to get to another hurdle and get past another hoop in your life. See, these lessons that we learn are in these little things, such as how we like to go about life. You had to go on that date with that person to realize, I don't really like doing this. I'm not really a sit down person. I don't like the movies. I was so excited to go on this movie date, but suddenly I realized I like more adventurous things. Do you really think you can settle for that person who is not of an adventurous spirit? Or was that person brought around to show you that you have an adventurous spirit yourself? A lot of times we have to meet these people because they help meet ourselves more. You have to meet people in order to see yourself in a different light sometimes. We get to see ourselves from other people's eyes, from their lenses, and be able to dictate what is true, what is not true. A lot of times we can run off these perspectives that people have of us that we cannot change. These perspectives could be why relationships don't work sometimes. The compatibility, you guys' perspectives, you all don't see eye to eye, but at one point you could ask yourself, how did it get to the point of no return, where we cannot fix this, where we fixed this 1,000 times? Why is it the 1,001 time and now we cannot fix this? We can't get past this. That is because the lessons that you were meant to learn, you already learned them. That is because the lesson of it is time to go on, it is time to move, is starting to be there. Because you're seeing it in such a stagnant energy, you're not able to move and you're not able to sway and keep moving on. And a lot of times, just being transparent, a lot of us are attached. And I would say a lot of us, because like I said, I'm sure a lot of empaths are watching this. A lot of empaths can come with attachment capabilities, such as myself. I'm even learning myself that you have to learn how to let people go. You have to learn how to let yourself go, not waiting on that person to leave, but knowing when it is time to leave yourself. You probably in your head by now have planned an entire life around this person, whether that's your bestest friend, having such a time together, or a relationship, and suddenly something has happened and it's like, well, what do I do now? I wasn't expecting this to happen. A lot of times we can unknowingly create expectations that don't always fall through at that caliber, because of how we love people, because of how we treat people, because of how we would handle certain situations. Yes, it is true that a lot of situations wouldn't be handled the way they were handled if we handled it the way we would handle it in another person's eyes. And that could go a good way or a bad way, whether you know how you can approach a situation, how you can calm that situation down. But there's a conversation of acceptance that has to be in place to truly understand and truly know that people are for those reasons and seasons. There has to be an acceptance that you're okay by yourself. You're okay if that person goes on without you, because you will be okay by yourself, because there's other places and there's other foundations that you have created in your life that are just as strong. You have to create other foundations and other various ways of love, of truth in your life, so you won't feel so empty when that person walks away. Yes, of course, I'm not saying that you won't be hurt, that you won't go through the motions of that person no longer being there, but it will be a great self-acceptance of, I'm okay alone. There was at one point I did not know this person, and now I can walk into another season with a deeper mind, a deeper understanding of myself. Not only of yourself, you get to understand how people work, how people can say things and really do another thing. You suddenly understand those conversations that people told you before, that people warned you of, that you saw in other people and you didn't exactly get until it happened to you, and you're like, man, this is that exact same story I was reading about. This is that exact same thing I was judging. A lot of times, those things have to happen in our lives, ourselves, to understand what it is like, to understand that truth, to ultimately get through that hurdle, to keep going in our lives. In your life, you're going to meet so many people that are only going to be there for a season. They're going to be there for a couple seasons, but like the leaves on trees, they will shed and they will fall and they will create anew. New people will come inside of your life. New ideas will come of these people that leave. Understand that things have to shed in order for other things to come in. Not even in nature, not even in the world that you can see around you steadily stays the same. Not in the world around you steadily everything blooms. You have to wait your season, you have to wait your time. But understand, hold in on your season, hold in on yourself. And when I say that, soak in that time that you have with people. Soak in those memories. Cherish that time while it is there. Take pictures, take video memories, because one day that'll be all you have. Whether that's because the seasons keep on changing and you look up and they're still there, but things have changed, looks have changed, y'all's thought process has changed. Things will continue to change, so you have to stay in that season. You have to realize when that season is over, there was a reason for that. Because other things have to bloom, flowers have to come. But in order for that to happen, it had to rain. In order for that to happen, the clouds had to come. Don't let that get in the way of being grateful, of truly soaking in that blessing, because just because it ended does not mean it was not put in your life to be good, but it was good for that moment. Now you're a different person, you have grown now, and even if it's ended on a so negative term, what did you learn from that? What can you carry on to other relationships? Not to necessarily hold yourself back, but to know who to give yourself to. I feel like this was such a huge realization in my life. Presently, pastly, I feel like it's a lesson that I'm currently wrapping up and understanding. I talked about this briefly in my What Did I Learn in my year of 2023. As a 23-year-old, because my age goes by the year, and I felt like it was so key to talk about this, because a lot of people can be nonchalant about things, like it's okay, I don't care, but reflection is needed to go on. Reflection is needed not to hold grudges. Reflection is needed to keep loving, to keep understanding, to keep that thought process, to keep those thoughts running good in your mind for healing and safety. I am an overthinker myself, but when I began to look at things the correct way, I didn't have to have so much of a scattered mind as far as what's the truth. Now it feels like the truth is just constantly spinning in my head. If you're like me and you're in a season of there's somebody that you love that you felt like would be in your life for a few more seasons, I encourage you to step back and thank them for being in your season, whether that's actually to them. You don't have to actually reach out to that person, especially if you know that can cause you to go backwards in a season that you no longer bloom in. but you can thank them on a piece of paper. You can thank them in your mind in meditation for that time in their life. Or you cannot thank them, and you can thank yourself for taking those things that they taught you and pushing it in another area of your life, being able to love again, to love more. Cheers to the knowing, and not to so much the ends, but the new beginnings. Just because their season has ended in your life does not mean your seasons have. Your years will keep going, it will keep flowing, and there will be more people for reasons and seasons. Let that one go in order to bring another one in, so your tree can continue to grow, so your leaves will continue to shed, and more beautiful ones, more colors will arise. I love you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.